All too often, patients are afraid to ask their doctors questions. Sometimes it's out of fear that they'll offend the doctor. Other times it's just a lack of knowledge. Here to tell us how we can be our own best advocate, welcome back to the show, Dr. Melanie Palm. Good evening.
Good evening, Brooke.
Okay, we were talking about this morning, and this is a really important topic. You need to not feel afraid to ask your doctor what they're going to inject or what a surgical procedure is going to involve. Tell us why.
Absolutely. You really need to be your own advocate. I tell patients, don't be sorry, and I'm never offended by a good question. So you really want to know about the procedure you're doing, who's doing it, what's their qualifications, how long have they been doing it, are they board certified and really capable of doing the procedure, and what's the authenticity of the product itself.
So let's talk a little bit about that. There are specific products that, if not handled properly, could be contaminated, could be diluted. What are some of the other possible things that could happen with something being put into your body?
Absolutely. So, in the U.S., there's actually only 3 companies that are manufacturers and distributors of all of the injectables that we use in aesthetic medicine. So a physician should really use only those 3 companies to obtain it. Other channels, such as obtaining authentic product, but from other countries where we don't know how things were sort of controlled and how it's brought into the U.S., is illegal. Physicians actually can be brought up on charges and lose their medical license if they're using some of these products. But even worse, there are just really poor counterfeit products where it might not even be what the product you think you are. It may be contaminated with bacteria. It may be produced in heat. And the labels, which we can talk a little bit about, often there's something askew about them.
We only have a minute, so let's actually get to that. It's a really important part of this. You said don't be afraid to ask your doctor to see the label.
Yeah, so these are 2 of the 3 injectable toxins that are actually available in the U.S. Botox, which many know, Dysport, and there's a 3rd one called Xeomin. Either on the bottle of Botox or on the actual label of Dysport on the box, they're holograms, and it says genuine. It talks about the expiration date, which is found here. With some of the counterfeit products, the colors are off, things are misspelled. It doesn't look quite right. If a deal is too good to be true, something might be wrong, and really trust your gut and don't be afraid to walk out of a clinic if something seems off.
Okay, very important advice. We're flat out of time. There's so much to talk about with this, but some tips right there on the screen, and certainly be your own best patient advocate. Thank you so much for being back with us again. Really important topic.